What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 2 for the culture. I'm so glad that you guys are here. Listen, I'm a little frustrated, I'm not gonna lie. I have recorded this episode 3 different times. Okay? The first time I didn't realize that I had my car stereo on, so I was talking to myself. Second time I had my mic on, I didn't realize it died. So there's so much in this episode to unpack to you guys that it has turned out different every time I have recorded it. So I hope I can cover everything. Both episodes have lasted an hour, so I hope that I can fulfill that for you guys. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to check out episode 1. This is a new journey for me, so I hope that I can get your love and support on this journey. I hope that you guys have some takeaways from this, and I hope that it kind of helps you move in life differently, not struggle so much with being so closed off. I really hope that if you're watching this, you have a like mindset and you are able to find your voice. I hope that it helps you land whatever it is that you want to land, whether it be starting your own podcast, starting your own clothing brand. I know that's a big thing right now. Influencing people accordingly, not so much to buy American products, but to be heard because you view things differently, to be open and really just like put your personality out there for other people. It's challenging, but it's exciting at the same time. I also have a new song intro for you guys. I do want to let you guys know that I'll be changing that up every week. Again, every Friday, 11 p.m. Podcast episodes drop. So let's go ahead, take a listen for today's segment, and then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to give me feedback. Like, I would love to hear what you guys have to say, as far as like what you think of the videos, how they're going, things that you would be comfortable with me talking about for you guys, especially if you're afraid to put yourself out there right now. It's scary, but again, the biggest quote to live by is the only thing that we fear most in life is fear itself. So let's go ahead and take a listen, and then we'll jump into this week's segment.
Heaven helps you sleep at night. Go ahead and tell yourself that I never cared for you. I'm just trying to stay alive. I gotta protect what is left after you left and now you put me through. I'm sorry for ghosting you. That's so unlike me. But I can't be exposed to you, cause I'd wanna be close to you. Fell in love with the ghost of you. Now it follows my every move. But this time it's gotta be myself. I chose, it's long overdue. I told you.
Okay, so the song is called Ghosting You. I believe her name is pronounced Malay. I'm not entirely sure. I actually just stumbled upon her before my podcast episode. So it's almost like a calling, if you believe in that kind of thing. It was like bound to happen. I kind of believe that the reason I'm recording this 3 times is because there's things that I missed and things that I have to recover. So if you didn't see it, I'll give you a broad horizon, right? So the biggest topic right now on the internet is ghosting. So people have been really like on this whole thing about how they feel about people ghosting them, right? And I'm not really sure if it's considered inappropriate, but I'm all for it. 100%. I believe removing yourself from a toxic environment. I believe removing yourself from people who have boring conversation. I believe that you don't owe anyone anything in this world, in this life even. I mean, the sky's the limit, right? You could do anything that you put your mind to. And being around people who want to suffocate you is not an option, right? I don't feel like you should have to explain yourself more than 300 times. I don't even believe that you should have to explain yourself more than once to get the point across. But sometimes it takes that last minute effort for someone to realize that they're about to lose everything. I'm a middle child. I know this, we're going to kind of veer off and then we're going to veer back, so bear with me here. But I'm a middle child. I have an older brother and I have a younger brother. I'm the only girl. So I lived a pretty isolated life. My parents didn't really like my friend group growing up. We were kind of like dirt poor, so I wasn't allowed to have sleepovers, and if I did have sleepovers at a friend's house, like, my parents needed the whole nine, right? I grew up in an era where you were allowed to reprimand your children to kind of, as my dad says, put the fear of God in them. Because I knew that if I was going to get in trouble, there was going to be severe consequences when I got home. But living a pretty sheltered life at a young age has really taught me a lot about enjoying your peace alone, but also learning how to suffer in silence alone. I have relied on people for a very long time to fulfill my happiness. Like, there was always a void that I was trying to fill. Not so much that it was because I was necessarily afraid to be alone, but I always felt like I could never leave the other person hanging. Like, I always thought about what it would be like if I left, like how they would take it. And it wasn't really until about 3-4 years ago that I kind of expanded myself and realized, like, I shouldn't have to shrink who I am to meet the expectations of somebody else. And after my last relationship, I felt free. I felt empowered. I felt like I knew that I could move mountains by myself. I knew that I could accomplish anything. And with as loud as my personality is, I knew that I could do anything I wanted without having to be told, no, you can't do that, or, oh, that's a selfish idea of you, or did you even think to consider me? You know, sometimes when we get in partnerships, we don't really think about long term. At that immediate moment, we think about the honeymoon phase, the right then and there. Again, when you come from a background of your nervous system's broke, you're easily trauma bonded to people, you look for every avenue to rely on somebody else. But when I had my breakaway, I moved differently. I started to, like, really take care of myself, and I'm to the point where I'm so secure in who I am and what I bring to the table that I don't feel like anyone can really keep up with me. We live in a generation now where roles are reversed. Men are confused. Women are carrying 3, 4, 5 jobs, you know. We're putting ourselves out there not necessarily to be busy, but to stay focused. We share the common factor that we don't have time to play games. And a lot of us, men and women, have wasted so much time on people who didn't even deserve it. It's a rewarding feeling when you know that everything will find you when it's supposed to. You will eventually become the person that you're meant to be. But sometimes it takes so long because you refuse to learn the lesson that you're supposed to. You refuse to acknowledge everything that's going on around you in that present moment, or even, 2-3 years down the line. So when people talk about ghosting to me, I'm all for it. I 100% believe in removing yourself from a situation that no longer serves you. I do not have time to repeat myself. I do not have the effort to make you want to grow up. I have conditioned so many men because of my background. Yes, I have a traumatic childhood, but I don't use that as a crutch. I have accepted it. I have moved on from it, and I have come to the point where I love hearing people bitch about everything that has happened to them. I'm sorry that it happened to you, but complaining about it will not change anything for you. You have to embrace it. You have to hit it head on. You have to be your own reason to change, right? It takes a long time to realize where you're coming from and realizing the life that you want, even if that means cutting people off, friends, your own family, people that seem like they're there to support you, but in the end will only use and abuse you, right? As adults in this generation, it's painful because nobody is certain about what they want. It seems like everybody is serving a purpose for another person, and this, like I said, kind of goes back to episode 1 where everybody wants to be validated. Everybody wants the attention. Everybody wants to feel like they're wanted or needed. When you heal, when you learn that the people that come into your life that are meant to be in your life, they will support you. They will push you. They will challenge you. They will make you see a side of yourself that you never even knew was there. I had a small work injury and I got put in PT, and I met this girl. She's wonderful. She's actually one of my very close friends now. She actually was somebody who pushed me to do the podcast. So Kay, if you're watching, thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. But learning about her was the most inspirational and exciting thing that could have ever happened to me. Like, I am so thankful that our paths crossed. She is a music producer. She has her own clothing line. She does hair on the side. Like, this girl has so much going for her, you know? And again, she is the meaning of the sky being the limit. And I realized that not only before meeting her, but I realized, like, all these things that I want to do, I have wrote down. I have made it official to complete the things that I want to do on the side. You know, whether it be picking up a new hobby or learning a new skill or something that's going to make me money. But something that I love to do, you know? And eventually, my idea to be successful is to start a few of my own businesses. Like, I do not want to work for somebody for the rest of my life. I also don't want to be in a situation where I have to work a 9 to 5 all the time. I also have a really good friend who is down in Tennessee. His name's Chris, and he also has inspired me so much. He actually makes all my shift knobs. Love you dearly. I love all your stuff. So thank you so much for your guys' support and making me realize that there's so much more out there. I mean, thank you guys every single day for pushing me. Like, you guys always want to see people do better. And I feel like it's people like them that make me want to sit before you guys and tell you everything that I possibly can. I mean, I don't have all the answers in the world. I'm 28. I am single and choose to keep it that way. That's kind of like a sidebar. But I want to live for myself. I don't have a 5-year plan. I am 28 and I'm not married, and I don't have kids, and I don't have a house. And whoever came up with the idea that that is supposed to be every 20-year-old's path is a crock of shit. And I'm so sorry that you guys feel like you're on a timeline for somebody else, because I want to have my shit together before somebody else comes along. I want to be their biggest supporter. I want to be able to have the answers when they have the questions. I want to be able to build a life, a career, a stable foundation with somebody that too has their shit together. But I also want the person to be so secure within themselves. And guys, when I tell you that going through what I went through, it irks me so bad when people try to suffocate me. I know that sounds awful, but I cannot begin to tell you how it feels. I don't like to be questioned anymore. I already know that if you're questioning me the way you are, that you don't trust me. So therefore, it's never going to work. I do not like people who feel as though they are consumed by their relationship. I feel as though, like, everybody should be able to be their own person before getting involved with somebody else. I don't feel like there should be you can't talk to this person, you can't do that type of thing. That's showing that you're insecure. That's showing, I mean, obviously there are boundaries that you have to respect on either partnership, but I don't feel like when your person is in a partnership with you, that they are an animal or that they are a prisoner. And if that's the case, if that's your version of being healthy, you should reconsider your options. Because Those are the people that will string you along for their 5-year plan. Men and women, guys, we know when we found our person. It's not hard to tell. The things seem effortless. The conversations are easy. It just fits. It's like putting a puzzle piece together. You don't have to struggle. It goes where it goes. The world stops, basically. But yous are free to be your own people. You have similar interests, but you're not suffocating one another, right? To me, these are just my viewpoints. Again, I am telling you exactly the things that I've experienced, the things that I would hope help you later down the line, because I can tell you that I have seen some things, and I tried to be a girl's girl, I guess you could say, and it backfired because the person chose their person over wanting honest to God truth. But you have to let those people go through it. You have to let them find out for themselves, because they say love is blind, but I think it's just because the chemicals in your brain are so amped up in the moment, in the time, and you don't want to go through what you already went through again, so you're trying to do everything that you can to believe in that person. But what I can tell you, as being a spiritual person, I can tell you that the moment you question, are they cheating on me? Are they hurting me? Are they doing something they shouldn't? That's your intuition telling you something's happening. Something's happening. I was conditioned at a young age to be a people pleaser. I was conditioned to basically stay silent. I was a wild child when I was young. And I mean, to the point where my parents had to chase me around because I would take my diaper off. I couldn't handle being clothed, apparently. But now I speak my mind. And people don't like that. People today do not like the truth. They can't handle the truth. I always like to kind of give people a heads up that I'm not the person to ask a question to if you don't want an honest answer, because I won't sugarcoat things for you. If I see something and I tell you and you don't take it for what it is, because I have no reason to lie to you. If you don't take it for what it is, that's on you. If what you're doing is affecting me in any sort of way, I'll let you know, but if you continue to act upon it, I will cut you off. I have spent so much of my time watching the things that I say and do to cradle the ego of others. And to me, I never thought that was fair, because it didn't matter what they did to me, but it mattered what I did to them. Sometimes you guys just have to be okay with playing the villain, because you will be a villain in somebody's story. It's the inevitable, I have finally found a place in myself where the smallest things give me what they call the ick. I get so overstimulated so fast that I will start screaming. Plain and simple. Like, if you're eating weird, I yell. If we're at a dinner and your child's screaming, I'm gonna get up and leave. If you're chewing loud, I'm gonna let you have it. There are just so many things that bother me that it's hard to refrain from telling you, because again, like, if I don't say it, my face will say it. My eyes, my forehead, like when I get angry, my ears get hot. Like, the inevitable is about to happen. But I like to tell people about themselves, and with all due respect, like, the same in return. Like, there is not a friend that I don't surround myself with that, like, if I'm messing up, like, I'd expect them to tell me. If I'm saying or doing something wrong, I'd expect you to tell me so that I can fix the error, right? It's a one shot, one opportunity kind of deal. But it all goes back to the fact of, can you speak your mind? I mean, living in the world that we live in now, I don't think that's possible, but I don't think it should stop you, right? I think people need to be bullied, right? Because if you get on the internet, right, and you see somebody that is just trying to better themselves, and they're really putting themselves out there, and they're really trying, and then you go to the comment section and you just see so many nasty things. Come on. I know for certain that you're talking all that shit behind that computer screen, but if it was something that you came face to face with that person, they would beat the shit out of you. And that's exactly what you need. You need the shit beat out of you, because they're putting themselves out there to spread positivity, and you're just being a piece of shit. You're being a degrading piece of shit, and there's no room for that. Like, there's so many negative things going on in the world that it would not kill you to be genuine. Like, I'm sorry that you're angry. I'm sorry that you hate your life, that things aren't panning out for you the way that you would hope. But you bitching online about what somebody else is doing for themselves isn't going to help you or your situation, right? So tell people exactly how you feel. Tell them when they're in the wrong. And don't be afraid to stand up for somebody else. You know, like, it would not hurt anything at all to be genuine, to be a kind person, because people say, treat people how you want to be treated. Right, okay, I can do that. But tell me why it comes down to the matter of, I'm going to hold the door open for you to respect my elders. I was raised with manners. But you're not even going to say thank you. Why do I have to be the bigger person? Why can't we just go back to the time when please and thank you, yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir were a thing? I understand that not everybody was raised like that. I get that, you know, you have these entitled kids out here that feel like the world owes them everything. Can we change that? Can you guys look in the mirror and change that? Because we need to get rid of that. We need to get rid of that mentality, because you're not going anywhere at all. I don't care what anybody says. Like, you are literally the scum of the earth, first and foremost. I seen this post the other day, right? And again, I'm not on social media for a long time because it's gut-wrenching. Like, it's so sickening how people can treat other people. But I saw this post, and it was basically about, like, I guess, sex trafficking. This lady was like freaking out or whatever on the internet about sex trafficking. And in my mind, like, this is how I think, right? You're crying about sex trafficking, but your daughter just posted her OnlyFans link on her social media account. Your daughter is legally prostituting herself. Now, I'm not saying all women have an OnlyFans to share their goodies. Like, I understand that some do it for the feet pictures or whatever the hell. Like, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. But I think OnlyFans is self-degrading, right? I think that you have absolutely no respect for yourself. I think it's disgusting. I literally think it's legal prostitution because you don't want to find another way to make money other than selling yourself, right? What man would be so enticed in having you when your goods are all over the internet and every man knows what you look like? The mystery is gone. It's gone. And it's gross. You know, like, you feel so good about walking out in the public and getting noticed because you just posted yourself on the internet like that. That's not something to be proud of. That's not even something you should flaunt. Because what if your kid grows up one day, if you have kids, and they find you on the internet naked as shit? That's disgusting. And you're gonna be like, oh, exactly, you're gonna stutter. You're not gonna know what to tell that kid. And the fact that your kid has to see you like that, that's insane. That's insane. And if the left hand is talking to the right hand right now, I feel the same way about strippers. I don't feel that stripping is an art. I don't think it's classy at all. I think you're taking off your clothes to get paid. Legal prostitution. I get that you guys are out here, like, making your bank. I support getting money 100%. But to make that a career choice, I've seen nurses give up their jobs to be OnlyFans models. What does that tell you? What does that tell you about how low people are willing to stoop? Money really is the root of all evil, guys. It really is. But to know that you're willing to sell yourself so short like that, it's sad. It's sad. Another factor that I find sad in today's society is the fact of gentle parenting. Beat your kid. 100%. I am all for it. Not necessarily like to the point of abuse, but reprimand them. I understand that there's concerns with child services getting involved and the police and this, that, and the third. My parents, obviously used to tell me that anytime I'd call the police, they were like, go ahead and call them, And I see so many things on TikTok about having emotionally unavailable parents and cutting off the concept of cutting your parents off. The environment could have been toxic, right? And you're trying to mend from that. And everybody's like, oh, that's your mom. I was their child. So it goes hand in hand. It goes hand in hand for treatment. Like, yes, I was suffocated. My feelings weren't expressed, yada, yada, yada. But it trained me, it conditioned me to be the person that I am. I am thankful that my parents raised me the way that they did. Whether it came with a broken nervous system or self-isolation or not being able to open up to people, we have all these coping mechanisms, right? We have all this blame to put on our parents. Yes, you can escape that when you're older. No, nobody asked to be here. But it's a first time for everything. It's your first time for your parents being parents. And they didn't get it right the first time. So they try again the second time. And then the second time it doesn't work out. And they try again the third time. And they think that they're doing the best that they can possibly do for you. But all in all, in the end, what purpose did it serve to say that they raised you to take your clothes off? What point did they raise you in front of an iPad to say that that would be the most beneficial way that they could get you to stop crying? The gentle parenters aren't really validating their children's emotions. They're not teaching them how to express themselves at all. You're teaching them to hide behind a screen. You're literally saying that whatever you want, you can have. There has been a point where I was questioning the whole thing of, when I was younger, my mom took me to get my ears pierced, right? And I have a girlfriend who just had a baby not too long ago, and she took her to get her ears pierced, and somebody was crying on the internet that it was child abuse. Because the child doesn't have a right to say whether he or she wanted their ears pierced at a young age. They didn't have a choice. Okay. What about the fact that these parents are pushing for their kids to change their genders? You're castrating your child without them having any acknowledgement of what's going on. Because society has trained you that everybody needs to follow. It's pathetic. I just want you guys to really sit and think about that, right? Like, how is it child abuse to pierce your child's ears, but it's not child abuse to switch your kid's gender? The fact that religion is non-existent. I'm not a religious person, right? I believe that there's a higher power somewhere. I believe in the universe. I believe in spirituality. I believe that we were all put here for a reason, but nobody can give you an exact answer on how or why, right? But I believe that everything you do has a consequence. Every action has a reaction. I just don't understand how so many people are getting away with the shit that they get away with. I don't understand how we have come this far in evolving where people are just absolutely stupid. I said it. You're stupid. We got people that can't follow road signs. We got people that don't know how to use a map. We got people that barely are getting by in the educational systems. Schools, to me, are a joke. Schools are conditioning your children to be prisoners for the rest of their life. The government has a hold on your kids, on you, to say that you're going to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, you're going to catch a bus by 7, you're going to be in a classroom by 7:30, you're going to listen to a lecture for a half an hour, you're going to move rooms and start all over again. Your day will last 8 hours, and that's that. You'll have lunch, and then you'll go home. just like now. You get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, some of us even earlier, depending on what shift you work. You get up, you make your lunch, you get a shower, you do yada yada yada, you get to your job, you clock in. You sit there for 8, 12, 10, 16 hours, 1 job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs, whatever. You're being conditioned to follow the same things that you did in school. I didn't learn how to write a check until 12th grade. I know nothing about a mortgage. I had to learn how to file my taxes on my own, other than the help of my mom, but it's pretty much dummy proof. I had to learn how to change a tire on YouTube. I've learned to do my own oil, brakes, everything. Schools don't teach you that. Schools don't teach you about life. And they should. What schools teach you is that if you have a dream, it's shot in the ass, because you're going to work for somebody for the rest of your life unless you decide to change that. Is that what you want? Is that what you actually think that we were put here to do? Is slave for men? Women? Corporations? Aren't you guys tired of working 2, 3, 4 jobs to support your families? That's nobody's dream. America was made for slavery. Land of the free, home of the brave. Now look at us. We're a disgrace. We don't have free health care. We eat like we have free health care. We can't treat people with kindness. We rob people of their own persons because society says so. Society dictates what happens. There's a new trend, there's this, there's that, there's this, there's that. When do you guys think you're gonna wake up? And I'm not talking woke, liberal. I'm saying to the point where you start to believe that the Matrix actually exists. When will you wake up? If the world was created for peace, prosperity, barter, and trade, how did we get here? We once fought for a 2% T-tax. Now tax inflation is up 37%. And nobody can raise a child if they wanted to. So there's that. Another trend on the internet, and I'm just going to throw myself right under the bus here. Another trend on the internet that makes me laugh is how women and men, childless, are the problem of America. I think it's great. I think we should stop reproducing. I think we should stop giving corporate America a reason to run people into the ground. I think that it needs to come to the point where you yourself should not have to kill yourself trying to survive. Decrease the human population. I am all for it. I believe that you should live for yourself. 100%. I don't believe that a child will keep your marriage. I don't believe a child will save you from killing yourself. I have seen so many stories about women that have had postpartum depression after bringing a child into this world, and then you leave the parent, one parent, to do what 2 people had to create. so many kids end up in foster care. So many kids end up dead on the streets. When you're having a child, do you really think about why you're having a child? Or are you just having a child so that you have a caregiver? So that you have somebody that you can pass on all your trauma and your hardships to? Because that first child, they grow with you. They experience everything with you the first time around. That second child, they don't give a shit. They will hurt your feelings over and over and over again until you know where you stand with that child. The third child, that's the baby of the family. So they get and they get and they get and they get. I'm not sure how it works for families of like 8 to 11. I can imagine that you got some strays, you know, like your kids are like, I really don't want to deal with you. Or they love you to the end of time. I don't like when people say that they have children for a legacy. A legacy starts with you and you alone. So if you have nothing to pass down to your child, that's not a legacy. What did you create for that child to have? Do you have a clothing store? Do you have a company? Do you have a restaurant? Like, what is it that your legacy stands so true for? What is it that you can pass on to your child? I don't know, like, how deep you guys think, or how much you really sit and ponder on things before you do them, but we are the enemies of the world right now, because we don't have a 5-year plan, and we want absolutely no responsibilities. I love coming home and playing with my dogs. I love not having to answer to a child or validate another child or another a small human's emotion, or the fact that I need to leave work to go to daycare to pick up my kid because they're sick, or going to a birthday party and being sneezed all over. You know, children are not for everyone. So stop passing it as it needs to be everybody's dream. Stop saying that women were put on this planet to procreate. I'm sorry, but if any of you have woken up lately and looked around, there is not anything on this planet worth procreating with. At all. At all. You don't share the common interest of being together forever. Nothing lasts forever, but most of you will stay in a dead-end relationship for the child and still abuse the shit mentally and emotionally out of your partner. You don't know what gender you want to be. Women can't get out of their masculinity because men are too worried about their feminine side. We switch roles. I don't think it's worthy enough to have a child with a man who acts like a bigger bitch than me. Sorry, not sorry. I love me time. I love being able to pick up and go. I don't feel like you need to have a child for the sake of having a child. There's a lot to unravel here, guys. There's a lot. And everything that's going on in the world, nobody's really looking at. And the fact that we can't even afford to live in a 1-bath, one bedroom for less than 15, no, not even. A one bed, one bath that I look at around here is like $2,000. And that's just me. That's just me. I couldn't imagine what it would be like to have to support a child in an apartment during the time of inflation. I commend those who are not following in society's plan for you. I don't believe that you should have to be 25 and married and then have a child by 28 and have a home by 30. That standard sounds like a crock shit. And whoever made that is just out of their fucking mind, because nobody has the same timeline. Not everybody is destined to follow that same path. Get your shit together. Do what makes you happy. Live for yourself. And eventually, the right person will come along and want to share in all those same things. Somebody that will stand by you day in and day out, willing to push you to be the greatest version of yourself. Now, don't forget, obviously, like, be your own person, choose you, but you'll value your person so much more when you are both so independent that you're both unstoppable. You both have the same mentality. You both have some sort of goal that you want to reach together. Do not keep allowing the success of one person to say that you need to have this shit together by the time you're 20. I see so much on the internet about these influencers selling other people's product, or, you know, doing like the drop shipping, the Amazon FBA, like, you know, you do the course for $7 and then you're advertising for this company and that company, and that's great and all. Like, I get that that's like a continuous source of income, and I can understand that it's not hard and that you really have to apply yourself. But how many people on TikTok are selling you the same shit, right? Like, what is big right now? Like the influencer camera things that you can angle from any point in your car. Motivational like sweatshirts that are really big. Some kind of like crimpet tool. Like, how many people are selling that same product, right? You scroll and it's a Nillo ad, right? For the cortisol face and all that other good shit. And then you scroll and somebody's, you know, shaking their ass all over TikTok. And then you scroll and then it's an influencer trying to tell you, like, this product will help you lose weight. This product will do this. This product will do that. Oh, this is the greatest thing to have. Trends take off so fast, guys. They take off so fast. It's not one person making the trend. It's 7,000 people. I'm exaggerating. I'm not even exaggerating. There's probably more than that. But there's 7,000 people that are doing the same shit to put themselves in the spotlight. They all earn commission. They're not necessarily not working a 9 to 5, right? Because they are advocating, for something else, somebody else, right? And they get commission. But who's to say that everybody has that same sort of personality? I personally don't have the energy to do that. I don't have the energy to record my everyday life. I don't have the time to sit down and edit my videos to perfection. First of all, editing is a joke. You're not getting the raw deal. You're getting a glamified version of what they want you to see, right? God forbid there's human error in any of that. You know, like people don't want to be flawed. They don't want to be flawed. And that's what's sad. I mean, this is about the most makeup I wear, right? I wear eyeliner and mascara. I ain't walking around looking like a cake pop. I ain't doing the concealer. I ain't doing the setting spray. I ain't doing the powder. I'm not doing the eyeshadow. I'm not doing the eyelashes. I am not doing lip filler, Botox. I'm not. That shit costs money. That shit goes away. It actually damages your skin. But it's not natural. It is not meant for you. People have such a hard time being who they are. For what? For what? Like, how could you be so insecure with the way that you were created? Not thin enough. I'm too big. I'm too round. I gained weight after a child. I lost weight after a child. I eat too much. I don't eat enough. I need to put 40 pounds of makeup on before I go out in public because I don't want anybody to see the blemish on my face. But then you got these people who walk out in public with pimple patches on, attracting attention to them. How did walking out in public with a nighttime skin routine become something that people were like, oh yeah, I got a blemish? I don't know how people do it. I don't know how everybody's so okay with following trends. I don't know how you're okay with being a follower. I don't know what has led society to the point of people being so insecure with being flawed. I wake up like this. My hair's a mess. My hair's not done. I had an event this morning. I put on a dress. I threw on some makeup. I went about my day. Some people, some women, some men are sitting in front of a mirror for like an hour to 2 hours at a time putting their face on. When Halloween rolls around, I would 100% chase you around with a Kleenex wipe because I want to know what's under there. I'm that person. And like, you think your makeup's flawless until you get up close and it's like caked on around your lips and you're sweating and your pores are getting clogged and your face itches. No thanks. No thanks. Y'all got that. Yeah, y'all got that. Again, I'm not knocking what you do in your day-to-day life. Like, that's on you, 100%. If that's how you feel like you're comfortable, by all means, that's on you. But I think being naturally beautiful is the way to go. Not only do you have a naturally beautiful face, you have a naturally beautiful personality. I feel like when I see the women that I see with the 40 pounds of makeup on, they're ugly inside and out. And no amount of makeup in the world is going to help you cover that up. It's not. So with that being said, I wish to my women that you can find the comfort in being yourself. I don't think that putting your face on to meet the beauty requirements of today's society is reasonable. And I can tell you that even though it makes you feel good, right? Imagine the time and money that you're going to save yourself if you just allow yourself to be natural. I don't know, guys. I feel like if the world would wake up, I don't feel like we would be where we are. So many people are afraid to stand up and speak that it has really put a damper on society for the way that people were brought up. And I have this friend, and I love his grandmother dearly. Like, this woman was literally raised in the time of Hitler. I shit you not. She has stories for days. But I can't imagine what it's like for her looking at every single version of different generations that have grown up. Like, I can imagine it's disgusting. It's defiling. I feel like even they ask, where did we go wrong? I know that there was so much to unpack here, guys. And for me, it is so easy to talk to myself, talk to yous as a whole, because I have so many questions. I have so many things that I want answers to, but I don't have enough people that are willing to speak up. I don't have enough people to stand behind me to give me the same reasons. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why or how we got to where we are as the people. Hopefully, down the road, I can introduce you guys to some different people in my circle, and we can have a full discussion. You know, with me and my thoughts, it's a little hard to understand where everybody's coming from or how everybody feels, or, you know, the shift in understanding. But this is me, and this is my thoughts. And I hope that hearing this podcast, hearing just a solo person's thoughts, it kind of opens you guys up to a broader horizon. I hope that you don't stay in situations that are not meant for you. I hope that you can value yourself as a person inside and out, truly and wholeheartedly, to understand that you don't have to shrink yourself for somebody else, and you don't have to accommodate somebody's feelings, and it's okay to walk away. It is okay to be yourself. It is okay to speak your mind. And it is okay to make the jump even when it's the scariest thing out there. That's all I got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Again, please like, subscribe, and comment. I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to know what else I could cover with you guys. Next Friday I do have another segment, but if we can get a little recap in the beginning, I would love to do that for you. Again, thank you for following me on my journey, and I hope this helps. See you guys next week.